Well, hello everyone. It is Friday, August the 11th. I am Delbridge, Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. This is your status chat. It's a good show, long show. I will time compress it to save you as much as I can. Let's get to it. If you like this content, please go to CallDelToSell.com, find the tab that says on YouTube, click it, and it'll open up a page of QR codes. There you can use a smartphone to scan and get to the YouTube page, or you can just mouse over and click it on a PC. There you'll be able to subscribe to this little button over here and click the notification bell so that YouTube will notify you when each Friday's blog has been uploaded. Thank you. Welcome to the middle segment. As always, I will try to give you the links to these websites that I'm using today in the description, in the status chat, over on the YouTube page in which the status chat lives. So let's go get right to it. Here we are with the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, CPI. We heard some news this week came out that we had some things go up, reverse course and go up. And let's see what they're for. Well, if we look at the core, which is everything except food and energy, we see that it's still up to 4.7%. Now we're going to look at this little item over here. CPI for all items rises 0.2% in July. Shelter up. Now this was 8/10, so this was yesterday. Let's go see what this page has. Forgive me while I read this a little bit to you. The CPI for all urban consumers, CPI-U, rose 2.2% in July on a seasonally adjusted basis. The same increase as in June, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today. Over the last 12 months, all the items in the index increased 3.2% before seasonally adjustment. Now we're going to look at this section down here. The index for items other than food and energy rose 0.2% in July as it did in June. Indexes which increased in June include shelter, motor vehicle, insurance, education, and recreation. Now, I read earlier on a report that motor vehicles, specifically used automobiles, are up over 30%. Now, good luck if you're in an automobile crash getting your insurance agents and agencies to actually honor the value, the actual cash value of your car. If we're up 30% and better, you would think that your settlement would be reflective of that. Nope, they just take your old value, depreciate it down with every dent, ding, and everything. But in this really weird environment where the value has gone up, they're not giving you that. Here we have all items in index increased 3.2% for 12 months. Slightly more than the 3.0% increase 12 months ending in June. So what we're looking at is it's going up again. So that's all we need to look at there. Let's look at this one right here. This is the Home Affordability Monitor, Federal Reserve Bank Atlanta, Home Ownership Affordability Monitor, HOME, as they like to have things have a natural sounding name to it. Let's look at some charts. Now, I've already preloaded this with the national versus metro as being Nashville, Davison, Murfreesboro, and Franklin. And we can see what was happening before, I don't know, 2020 or so. And we got something that happened about 2021 and it all exploded. I think this may have to do something with the printing of money and exploding of the M0, M1, and M2 money supplies. But what I'm showing you here is positive. We see this jump way above 30% to this high peak in September of 2022. We are not 2022, we're 2023. We see that it hit a high of 46.8%, meaning that your PITI, your principal, interest, insurance, and taxes went up to approximately on the median home of 46.8% of your income. That's pretty high. But look, we did come down. We're down to 41% roughly. And so that is an improvement. We have bounced around that for a couple of months in 2023. So we look like we may have a new normal coming along where your mortgage is going to constitute about 41% of your income. And we see the yellow or the goldenrod, whatever you want to call this, is down here in the metro area. That would be our local area, and the green is the national. So we used to be below the national average in our area. Now we're above the national average in our area, but we're narrowing back down to pretty well much average. Well, let's look at what it says here, because remember, it just said that shelter is the named cause back here under the CPI. If we'll go back one screen, we'll see it. Shelter is up. What is shelter to you? That's either rent or mortgage, correct? Well, let's look at this site, Redfin, Tennessee Housing Market. We have a couple of cool graphs that we won't dive into, but they'll give us an indication. We see really that we've pretty well much held on a steady incline for some time. We did see this little drop from May 2022 down to probably a peak around January 2023, and now we're going back up in the median sales price at $383,300. So we're going back up. Now, it does give us some nice little area, 10 metro areas in Tennessee with the fastest growing sales price. We look at these things, we're not surprised. We're Middle Tennessee. We do have Lebanon in here. In Crossville, we might consider that to be one of ours. Tullahoma, great lake down there that we can play off. And it's looking still pretty good that housing prices are going to go up. What did we see in the home? That pricing of houses has gone up. It's come down some, but we look like we pretty well much killed that little trend. It's going to bounce around probably a little bit, and we are still above national average. Let's go back and scroll down and get us some more charts. Tennessee housing supply. Well, we look fairly flat from 2020 to over here at 2023. We've seen some dips, but if you take a line between us and try to figure out where average is, where the median is, we're probably right there about midway. So I'm not sure that that's a big thing to be alarmed about if you're buying or selling. It does say that Tennessee, according to June, this is not July, according to June data, that we're plus 3.7% year over year growth. That's still pretty good considering the cost of everything else. If used cars is up over 30%, new cars are up. We're seeing energy up. Well, it's down in this last strike, but we're seeing it up over the previous administration's time. We're seeing energy prices way up. We've got winter time coming. If energy is down, now might be the time to refill your propane tank if you're on bottled gas. Tennessee housing demand. Well, we are down a little bit, but what is the trend since January? Well, we're going pretty well much back up. Yeah, we're down a little bit in June. We haven't July's numbers, but we're down a little bit, but it's not far off of this diagonal for this year. So demand is down, but it's growing back up. And we see where the most competitive cities are. This is going to be related to supply. And we see those counties. I don't see, do we have any in Middle Tennessee, Middle Valley, Tennessee, Humboldt, Jackson, Red Bank, Germantown? That's in Shelby County, is it not? East Ridge, that's over toward Chattanooga and Hamilton County up in that area. Bartlett, all right, that's out west. So here is our map. Where are people moving from and to? And this is the reason I have this for you today. Because moving to is the red, moving from is the deep blue, and the paler colors are the middle ground. We see that we're still moving from California and New York extensively. And you can see, of course, Oregon and Kentucky is even seeing people moving out of Kentucky into some other place. So they're on the loss, we're on the gain. And of course, Florida is really picking up. And of course, Texas being such a big state, 12,000 people were searching to move to Texas versus out of the state. So it's still looking like we're net influx into Texas, big old state. We're looking Florida, we're about a little over twice that, 24 would be that ratio. So more people are going to the smaller, more densely populated states. So what is that telling you? Well, if you're going to look at it, nearly 1 in 10 homes in the U.S. are worth at least $1 million. Well, that's nice. I would like to be in that crowd, wouldn't you? Well, what do you got to do to get started? Well, you got to buy a home first. You got to get one instead of renting. And of course, we see rental market tracker asking rents are inching closer to their record high. So why did I show you this? Because again, if you want to keep renting, keep renting. But it looks like your rents are going up. So there you have it. We'll get back to the conclusion of this show. But my point is, do you think it's getting worse or better? If we look at the CPI, we've reversed direction and we've gone up once. This is up just once, so that's not too terribly bad, but it's showing maybe a trend. We have the home affordability monitor from the Atlanta Fed. We've certainly been worse. We've also been much better. We used to be, say around 2020, we were below national average. Now we're above national average, and we crossed over about 2022 at 30%. And this is what they consider a reasonable mortgage value ratio to your income. So it's about 30%. We're now up about 40%. That's 33% higher. Because again, we're going to have 3 in this 30% where their level is, and we're going to look at that extra 10. So that's going to be a fourth third. So we're at 40%. We are down from where we were at the peak. So we are improving there. We see that our markets are looking pretty good according to the housing market according to Redfin. And so it's just up to you. Do you think you're going to get significantly better in the immediate future? So you want to start building that wealth, you got to start buying your houses. Hello, I'm Dale Delbridge of Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side and room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel, CallDelToSell. That's one L and Del, no spaces. Watch the demo on Real Scout, and then call me and we'll set up your exclusive ad-free account today. All right, last week, 8/4/23, we had 18,178 opportunities in the Real Scout system. That is down over the previous period. We had 4,075 in the under contract still showing. That was up 22%. That's unchanged. We had 8/11/23 this week. We had 18,322 in the opportunities. That's gone up a little bit over the previous week. 40,67 were the under contract still showing. That is down over the previous week a little bit. And the rate between the two is unchanged at 22% for the 3rd week in a row. Appreciate you watching. Have a great weekend.